Hello viewers, how are you? I'm back again today for my next podcast on my next chapter of my book, which is it's very strange. My life has been a series of ups and downs, and there have been more downs and lesser ups. But I have lived with it, and I wanted to share with you everything. And what one sees normally at the end of the day is always when you see the good things in the life, or whatever your success you get and whatever in life you get, there is a lot of downs, a lot of depression, a lot of stress, a lot of hard work and thinking that goes behind it to achieve and finally succeed and come out winning. And this is a learning lesson for everybody who goes down in life at some point of time, and how you struggle to keep fighting and not give up. So this chapter which I'm going to talk about today is about the after my incident what happened on my 60th birthday in 2007, and the accident or the incident that happened with me, and how I was in bed for 6 months. This was not the end of my problems. 2008, we all know there was the big crash which came in, and 2008 businesses closed, banks went down, all over the world there was a sudden collapse of the economy. And I was not an exemption from it. It happened with me, because what was happening was that we were in our business supplying millions of hangers every month to the American market, to the American retailers. And that complete went down because all the stores were shutting down. There were no sales, so obviously there was no supply of hangers required. It was a snowballing effect. And not only that, but Dubai lost its FTA status, which is a free trade agreement status. Before that, earlier there were a lot of garment factories in Dubai who were operating and manufacturing and exporting garments to the US free of duty, because it had the FTA status. And that is why we had set up shop here in 2000 to supply that to them. But in 2008, when they lost that status, a lot of garment factories just shut down. And I had no option but to sit down and think what to do, because my sales had dropped by nearly 75%. And I had expenses to keep and to keep and maintain, and salaries to pay and keep my workers and everything. I was absolutely down and out again for the maybe second or third time, or I don't know what. But this was a new country I'm in. I wasn't in India. This was a strange new country where nobody helps anybody. And my son was with me. Nikhil came to me and he said, "Dad, I think we're going to go under, and I think we should either sell the business or just close down and do what you want, go back to India or whatever else you want to do." But he also said that I know that you have started this business and you've made a success of it in 8 years, but now this is something unprecedented, and you went on and did this, whatever happened. And he already had a music business which he was running very successfully, events and music. And he says, "Dad, don't worry about me. I will go back to my music business and I will make my earning and living. And I don't want to burden you with extra cost of mine and my overhead costs and everything. So just forget about that and do what you want to do." So I told him, "Okay, son, you go on and do your thing, and at least you survive and do something. I'll think of something." So what I did at that time was, since the garment business had moved out of Dubai, they had to go somewhere else to seek where they were allowed a free trade agreement. And they had moved to countries like Jordan, Kenya, Madagascar, and Swaziland. Now, these are all African countries and Middle Eastern countries like Jordan who were enjoying the FTA and AGOA status. So I got an idea. I said, why don't I get into their backyard and go and set up 4 factories over there with them in their backyard and try and get that business back which I have lost in Dubai. So can you imagine, with the debts piling up here and the bills to pay here, I alone took a flight to Jordan, went there, I knew nobody. I set up a factory there with great difficulty. I moved some machines and molds there and set up that factory and got it working to supply the hangers to the Jordan customers which had moved from Dubai. After that was set up, I moved to Kenya, where again the garment business was beginning to boom. I set up a factory in Kenya with the same machines which I had here, moved them there, molds there, and started that. It's very easy to talk about it now, but I know what I went through at my age when I was 60, 61, to do all this all by myself. Then I went to Swaziland, which is in South Africa, and then moved to Madagascar, where there was production. So I put up 4 factories in these 4 places, all by myself within that 1 year when the downturn or the crash was there. And that is something that today I am reaping the benefits of, because if I hadn't done that, I would have gone under. And I reduced my labor in Dubai because there was no business in Dubai. But at that time, another thing came to me about manufacturing car batteries and forklift batteries through a friend of mine, Mr. Surinder Kandari, whom we are making car batteries and forklift batteries for even today. And that fell into my lap, and that kind of led me through, and I was allowed to pay my bills. But I went through a very tough time financially, and that 1 year after that, when I set up the whole thing and came back and things started working out again, after one year or 1.5, 2 years, I think my son came back to me and I was in touch with him at the time. He said, Dad, what are you doing? I said, I'm setting up 4 factories. He said, are you crazy? What are you doing this and that? He said, no, I am going to make this work and I'm going to make it survive. I'm going to make my company survive and bring it back to its original strength. And I did that. When he came back to me and the business was booming and it came back to me, everything, I know he said, hats off to you, Dad. I salute you for what you did at 61 and what you've done all by yourself. And you have the tremendous spirit and energy of doing things, even at this age, and making things work and not calling it a day or saying, sell it. So this is what is I wanted to share with you, my friends and viewers, is that you have to have resilience, you have to have the willpower to survive. And I've done that many times in my life, and I want to share that with you. Don't give up on anything that when you come down, because these are all trials of strength for you, and you have to go through it without getting depressed or escaping to things like becoming an alcoholic or whatever else you want to do. These are all escape routes. These don't work in life. You have to confront the problem and solve it in parts and go ahead and move ahead with it. And this is my advice to you. This is an example I'm giving you about my 2008 experience, which I want to share with you. And I think this is what today we are in 2025, and by God's grace, all the 5 factories are all running well, and my son is back with me. Everything is good. And it's my mother's blessings and Sai Baba's blessings that today I'm sitting here and talking to you, and I have released my book. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much, my friends.